Welcome back to the Grio. It seems like every time you turn around, there is some news coming out of the NBA, especially this time of year. But luckily for me, I have some brilliant sports voices to help me sort all of it out. Joining me now is Bianca Peart. She is a sports host on the MSG Network. She's also from Philadelphia, the greatest city in human history. So I know she has a unique insight on sports. And also joining us from the MSG Network, on-air talent Kazeem Famiyude, who sadly is a New York Knicks fan, but we love him anyway. I want to thank you both for joining me. All right, y'all. Look, the NBA Conference Finals are underway. The playoffs, they've ruined some people's parlays for sure. On the West, we got the Lakers, we got the Nuggets. On the East, we got the Celtics, and we have the Heat. What do you all make of the finals so far, the Eastern and Western finals so far?
I'll say, my fault. You go ahead, Bianca. You got it.
No, I think it's been an incredible playoff season thus far. There's been so many upsets. You see the number 8 seed Heat against the Celtics, so that should be exciting to see. And then you have the Lakers. You cannot count out the Lakers. I know so many people were doubtful about LeBron and his team even making the playoffs, but here they are at the Western Conference Finals against the Nuggets, number 1 seed. So again, it's just been an exciting playoff season.
You know,
I'll say one of the most exciting things. My fault. I just want to add to that with the Los Angeles Lakers. I think after game 1, even though this guy's won 2 MVP awards, Nikola Jokic has really taken the playoffs and the league by storm with the amount of efficient play he's played so far. He's putting himself in Will Chamberlain, Bill Russell sort of categories as far as big men and the way he's played so far. And I think as great as he's been so far, he's never going to have a bigger spotlight than does he have right now going up against LeBron James in the Western Conference Finals. So I think even though he's extremely accomplished, the entire NBA world is really starting to figure out just how great this guy is.
He is indeed historically great. I mean, he, in my estimation, at this moment right now, is the best player in the NBA. I think the numbers show it. And if he continues to move through the East like he is, the West like he is, excuse me, we may see a championship in Denver. And if so, I think it becomes indisputable. But let me ask y'all a question, because a few years ago, these same 4 teams were in the conference finals, except it was a bubble year. And people said, oh, that's a bubble chip for LeBron. Oh, my God, Denver, they're just a flash in the pan. Who cares about Boston? Now these same teams are here again. Does that mean that people were wrong about saying the bubble playoffs were not legit? Bianca?
I wouldn't say they're necessarily wrong. They were doubtful. I think the bubble really showcased like pure ball, pure skill set. And you saw that shine throughout the bubble. And here we are again. This is not a fluke for all these teams to make it back to the finals. It goes to show that the bubble was not a fluke. The skills were there. And now we're seeing it at this high, incredible level. And we'll see this time who will be able to take that chip.
I'm at least happy that it won't be the Knicks, but I'm still devastated that it is not going to be my Philadelphia 76ers. 3 teams have let go of their head coaches, including the Sixers. We saw Doc Rivers gone from Philly. We saw Monty Williams gone from Phoenix. And we saw Mike Budenholzer gone from Milwaukee. Those are 3 people whose jobs seemed relatively safe even a month ago. What does that tell us about today's NBA, Kaz?
I'll say there's no real job security when it comes to being a head coach in the NBA, especially when it comes to your Philadelphia 76ers, a team that I personally picked to represent the East in the Eastern Conference Finals, despite my huge Knicks fandom. I did believe that this is the year that Joel Embiid and Doc Rivers and James Harden all collectively get over the hump. But for the Sixers, I feel like they did the easy part, right? The easy thing is getting rid of the head coach and seeing how every franchise with guys like Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, and Giannis Antetokounmpo on their roster still let go of those coaches. It kind of lets you know that they can plug and play anywhere. The real question when it comes to the Philadelphia 76ers is what do they do going forward, right? Like, it's not just about this year. It really is about the process and the past 10 years, and where do you go from here when it comes to the greatness of the reigning NBA MVP and Joel Embiid, right? Like, we kind of saw his post-game conference that wasn't really well received by a lot of Philadelphia fans and people that I know from the great city of Philly. It was not. But now the real work begins with Daryl Morey and the general manager, of the Philadelphia 76ers because you got to take advantage of his greatness and his prime. Despite the Sixers still coming up short, getting to the Eastern Conference semifinals 3 years in a row, now you got to figure out, okay, who is out there that could really collaborate with Joel Embiid and possibly James Harden if he stays to get this team over the hump. The easy part is firing the coach.
You know,
the
for
hard
me, it would
part
be a nice
is getting the pieces to go around.
Agreed. I think for me, the best option for the Sixers would be to sign a nice, quick, young, small, left-handed guard, maybe a Jalen Brunson type. I'm willing to give you James Harden for him. I'll even throw in B-ball Paul Reed, just to make it, just so you don't think I'm trying to cheat you, Kaz. I'm willing to make that sacrifice because you're my man.
Maybe we can get Donovan Mitchell, something.
Something. We need something, man.
I'll tell you this, though. I'm a big Tyrese Maxey fan. I think he's a guy who has a huge potential. I think he's barely 21 years old right now, and he was arguably the second best player on that Philadelphia 76ers team throughout this entire Eastern Conference playoff. So I don't think it's all doom and gloom for the Philadelphia 76ers. I know it hurts to have an MVP season and not necessarily go and fulfill the destination that you wanted to, but there's still a lot of promise over there. There's still a lot of young talent and just a few little pieces, a few little tweaks. Who knows? A ball bounces here and there, and maybe the Sixers are in the Eastern Conference Finals, not the ball.
You might be right. Look, but speaking of promising young talent, Bianca, everybody is looking at San Antonio right now. They clinched the #1 spot in the 2023 draft. Now, unless something bizarre happens, they are expected to select Victor Wembenyama, who is regarded as the best NBA prospect in a generation. Some say the greatest NBA prospect ever. Some have even said the greatest sports prospect across the major sports. This man stands at 7'5". He's 19 years old. He's a French professional basketball player who can create his own shot off the dribble. He can hit the three. He can protect the rim. He's athletic. He does all the things. But is it too much? Is it too hyperbolic to say that he is the best sports prospect ever? Is it too much to say he's bigger prospect than LeBron?
I mean, the expectations are certainly high. I think we're in this new era now where we're seeing these tall athletes such as Victor, who's so versatile, who has the length, who has, the depth, who can produce in the paint, around the perimeter. The question is, though, can he remain healthy? Although he's listed at 6'5", will he remain healthy? He is pretty skinny, and to perform at the highest level, we've seen this numerous times, even with Joel Embiid, now with Kevin Durant, and even Zion. We have these tall, incredible players with incredible wingspan and a depth of skills. It's just a matter of can he remain or stay healthy. But I will say it's very exciting for him, assuming the Spurs do end up picking Victor. It will be serendipitous. Victor is from France. He learned of this pick at 2:30 in the morning in France. And the Spurs are traditionally known, I like to call them the hub of international stars. You have Tony Parker, Ginobili, even Paul Gasol was there for a little bit with the Spurs. So I think it will be a nice home away from home for Victor if he is selected by the Spurs to move to elevate his career. But we have to see if he can maintain his health.
I still think Philadelphia would be a better home. Coach Pop, if you're watching this, I'm willing to surrender. I speak for my team. I'm willing to surrender both P.J. Tucker and I will even throw in Montrezl Harrell just to make it fair in exchange for this young, unproven talent. That's what I'm willing to do for my team. But anyway.
I got to add a little bit to the Victor talk, right? You said prospect, and I feel like prospect is the word that we should zero in on because you hear people saying this is the greatest prospect since LeBron James, and people start.
That's fair. Prospect is the key word, y'all. Thank you for that perspective. We got to run, but y'all, thank you for joining me. Everybody, stay right here because still ahead, what Black organization was born out of the success of sit-ins by college students in the Jim Crow South? Do not Google it. We're going to give you your answer on the blackest questions right after this. But first, Kirk Franklin and his wife are on deck.